Well, Rabbi, you talked about these king gods and goddess queens, kind of keep going down that road.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, and when I spoke about the spirits or gods in our culture, in ancient times, it wasn't just gods. The kings were considered avatars of the gods. The pharaoh, you had all that. He was an avatar of a god. He was supposed to be like the image of the god. Kings of Babylon, same thing. So what if we're at this point where these things have been taking our culture, could we actually get to the point where there are actually kings or leaders who are actually embodying this? And it's not about the people. We got to pray for all people, and they don't know what they're doing.
It's every generation.
But now, when we open the door, even more. And the thing is, because if you can rule a king, you can rule the kingdom. Okay. So could there be someone? Example, I call it the avatar, that is in effect an avatar of a god. It's of a god. Now, here's the thing. In the Hindu gods, you know, they believe that there's one house that's particularly conducive for people to be born who become avatars of the gods. It's called the House of Brahman. From the House of Brahman was born Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, okay, was named Kamala Harris. The name Kamala she's named after a god, a goddess, an ancient goddess. The name Devi means the goddess. And it's not about her, but the thing is that she's been following this pattern, her whole life has been following this pattern of linked to this mystery of the ancient goddess. In fact, this goddess was the number 2 reigning in the pantheon. She's the number 1. You know how Biden was called Sleepy Joe? The number 1 she's linked to is the king, is Vishnu, is called the sleeping god. Okay, the name Devi is, you find that in Hindu writings, talks about, you know how she always laughed and laughed at wrong times, you know, but it means Devi is the laughing goddess. Okay, now let me say something else, and again, we got to pray for her, not about her, but this is where we are. The thing is that she was born, the day she was born, there's a day, let me put this, there's a day in the Hindu calendar that's devoted to that goddess, Kamala, okay? She was born on that day. I mean, when they were celebrating it in India,
you can't make this stuff up.
You can't make it up. She was born and they're actually saying the goddess is coming into the world, Kamala, and she comes into the world as they're doing that. It's actually the day celebrates the birth of the goddess Kamala. While they're celebrating that, she's born. You could not control that. So the thing is that think about this, and it's about the bigger picture. You had somebody running for president to lead the land whose name was Goddess. You know, we are America is to be one nation under God. You know, under God, ruled by God. But it would have been one governed by one named Goddess. You know, and again, it's not that she knows what she's doing here, but the agenda. This could have sealed if Donald Trump, and again, it's not about him either, if he hadn't done it. So this is going to go to a mystery. I'll call it this: the ultimate mystery of Donald Trump, and then we're going to take it to where, if it's okay, where we are and what we need to do. Okay. I told you about the birth of Kamala. Okay, what about the birth of Trump? Donald Trump, the day he was born, it wasn't a pagan holiday. He was born on a day that ushers in a biblical holiday. He was born on Friday, ushering in the Sabbath. Now, every Sabbath, you know, there's a scripture that's appointed to be read from ages past all around the world. So there's a scripture for Donald Trump when he was, ushering that Sabbath of his birth.
On that day.
Yeah, it's the Sabbath of his birth. So what was it? It's where God calls for a vessel to be brought into the world. The vessel is the trumpet or the trump. So literally, as Trump is born, all over the world, they're reading about the birth of the Trump. Okay, now a trumpet is wild. Listen, a trumpet is loud. It's jarring. People don't want to hear it, but it's a vessel. It doesn't have to know what it's doing. It's a vessel of God. Now the thing is that there's so much to this. I'm just going to kind of say this. Okay, I didn't share. One of the things I shared in the book also is actually my encounters with the gods or goddesses in the world, the spirits. At one point, I blew a trumpet, and we all in India, and it was like a mass exorcism with 70,000 people. I mean, it was crazy. But that's the trumpet's linked to it says in the Bible, sound the trumpet when you're in warfare, and you'll defeat the enemy. Well, that was also appointed for Donald Trump's birth. You know, so it was actually a vessel of exorcism. You know, where it's birth. Well, when Donald Trump, now think about this, because you were saying this. So you have an election. One person is called trumpet, and the other's name means the goddess. So the trumpet sounds, and it overcomes the goddess, the fleet, spirits. And so the thing is, the mystery is where we are right now. Now, there's so many. I can only give a taste of course, you know that what's in the Avatar.
The book.
But the thing is that. But let me share one thing. We all remember what happened when Trump was almost killed. Okay, talk about warfare. You know? And it was a miracle. I mean, it doesn't matter what you think. I mean, it was a fraction of an inch, fraction of a second. You know, but there's an ancient mystery here, and that is that goes back to an ancient priesthood. When God was going to use a priesthood or a person for his purposes, like the priests of Israel, they had to go through, a consecration. Okay, so the consecration of the priesthood, in order to be consecrated to serve God, there had to be blood that touches the ear. The blood has to touch the ear. So the blood touches the ear. The blood, according to, it's in the Bible, had to touch the right ear, touches his right ear. Had to touch the tip of the right ear, touches the tip of Trump's right ear. Then the blood has to touch the hand. First thing that Trump does is he brings his hand, touches the blood. It has to be the right hand, it's his right hand. Has to be his thumb, first thing, that's why it was the thumb. Then it's got to go to the feet. Now the thing is, in order for this to happen, in order for the thing to be complete, the priest's shoes have to be removed. So what happens? It can only happen. He goes down and he says, where's my shoes? He wants my shoes. His shoes were removed. Now the thing is, there's so much to this. Let me just tell you one more thing of this. There's so much to this. The whole ceremony lasted 7 days. On the 7th day, from the time the blood touches the ear, that is when the person receives the vestments of the office, okay? So if you count from the time the blood touched his ear on that day, Hebrew Bible reckoning, which is sundown to sundown. First day, then comes sundown to sundown, second day, you end up, when's the 7th day? 7th day is Thursday, begins Thursday night. Anything happen? Thursday night, Trump is standing before the world with that patch, and he is invested with a nomination to become president of the United States. Complete. Yeah. I mean, but what it's saying is that what this is saying, again, it's not about Trump. And he's not reading I don't think he's reading the Hebrew, okay? But the thing is that God will use whom God will use. And the thing is that it means that there's a priestly point for where we are right now. And there's a reason for it. Because, and to bring this really to where we're at, is Jehu and all these mysteries. There's so many, and we did a little taste of them for the Avatar. But the thing is that we've got a window. Jehu was a window that God gave it because the nation was going to be gone. God uses the unlikely person, who again you said we would not choose necessarily, right. Jehu. You're right. You know, but he does it to make a window of time, and so the nation has a window of time to come back to God. Because if we change the government, but we don't change the hearts of the people, the unchanged hearts are going to change the government back, right. And the gods will return. So the reason we have a window for revival.
Well, before you leave, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, we would love to hear how the Lord is moving and touching your heart right now. So be sure to comment below and then share this video with someone you feel needs it just as much as you did.